Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily. It's Thursday, January 19th, here with Andrew Wiebe. I'm Nick Fershaw, and Andrew, we're going to start with the biggest news. Obviously, out in LA, David Beckham signing a 2-year deal with the LA Galaxy. He's headed back to MLS. Nearly 2 months since they've won the MLS Cup. A lot of speculation in that time, a lot of offers from Europe, but no matter what, David Beckham headed back to MLS.
Yeah, and it seemed the Galaxy were confident of this result the whole time. A lot of talk about Paris Saint-Germain and a lot of money on the table, and you know that has to be hard to give up, but in the end, Beckham said it's about family, it's about wanting to win more trophies with the LA Galaxy, so he'll be back for another 2 years, a chance to make a CONCACAF Champions run, maybe get them into that Club World Cup for the first time in MLS history.
Well, certainly a big chance to win a lot of hardware in 2012 for David Beckham and the LA Galaxy, defend as MLS Cup champions, maybe win a third straight Supporters Shield, and you mentioned it, of course, the CONCACAF Champions League at stake for David Beckham and the LA Galaxy. We've got complete coverage of David Beckham's return to MLS right here on MLSsoccer.com, and you can also log on to LAGalaxy.com for the return of David Beckham. There was some other big news, a big star returning to MLS on Wednesday as well. Pavel Pardo for the Chicago Fire, the holding midfielder, the Mexican international who was so great for them after he came on midway through the season in 2011, back for 2012.
Yeah, and both sides expressed an interest to reunite for this season, and that will happen. Pardo was a huge part of the turnaround under Frank Klopas. 7 wins in their last 10 games. He appeared in 13 and had 5 assists. So they're hopeful that will turn things around once again and have a return to the playoffs for the Fire.
Well, from one player coming back to MLS to one potentially departing. We're talking about Sebastian Toux from the Philadelphia Union. There's a report that he could be transferred to Bolton, the English team who has been after guys like Tim Ream. Obviously, they already have Stuart Holden. This is big news for the Philadelphia Union. He's been their most productive player each of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, 25 goals and 20 assists over the last 2 seasons, 11 and 9 last year. Certainly the driving force in that offense. He'll be there for a week. Just the latest MLS player to be linked with Owen Coyle. He's 28 years old now, so we'll kind of see where that goes as Bolton looks to shore up that squad. A little note from Philadelphia as well. Veljko Paunovic also announced his retirement yesterday, so that complicates things a little bit. That's another forward off the books there in Philly.
And one other player we wanted to mention here, Robbie Rogers, the former Columbus Crew midfielder, has signed his work permit to play for Leeds in England, leaving the Columbus Crew for a career in England. And one other note, another player on his way out, FC Dallas midfielder Jackson, who played so well for the club last year, a real versatile handyman for Shellis Hyman's group, going down to Brazil, his native Brazil, wanted to go back for family reasons.
Yeah, being loaned to Cruzeiro for a year by FC Dallas, just the kind of deal where has to be back in Brazil. I talked to Shellis Hyman at the draft and asked him about this, and he wouldn't comment, but he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, you know, that's the way it goes. Got to be back home.
Well, tough to argue when a guy has family concerns. Again, Jackson headed back to Brazil, leaving FC Dallas. One last thing before we go. We wanted to mention the MLS Inside the Super Draft. It's back here on MLSsoccer.com, the exclusive series, taking a look at 3 different teams and how they make their decisions inside the Super Draft this year. We looked at the New England Revolution, the Montreal Impact, and Sporting Kansas City. You can find that right here on YouTube and all the other videos associated with MLS by clicking on this subscribe button right here. We'll be back with another edition of The Daily tomorrow.